I am truly excited to be here with Judith Peters and talk about her recent launch. Thank you for being here, Judith.
Thank you for having me, Sigrun.
And you're wearing red.
Yes.
So great to have you. So we're going to talk about your latest launch and a little bit around, what led to this place, because just before we hit, live here today, we spoke about that it feels like you have just found your zone of genius, and then things start to work so well, and we can't be surprised about it, but it's kind of logical when we think about it.
Yeah, so I had my zone of genius for a very long time, right ahead of me, but I didn't see it. And
So why did you think that was? This is a very good starting point. So you have been blogging for how long?
Since 2005. I wrote my first blog article. Yes, I wrote my first blog article on August 1st, 2005. So it's been 15 and a half years.
Yes.
I don't know.
And you enjoyed blogging. You liked it. You were good at it. You honed your craft. You are a copywriter, so blogging comes easier to you than to other people like myself. And then when you started your online business, you started to teach something else.
Yes. Since I'm a copywriter, I made my first online course about copywriting, about writing your website copy, because I thought this is like the totally logical first step that people have to take. And so this was the first step in copywriting, but I didn't see a blog course for myself somehow. I don't know why. I thought it had to be copywriting.
But now looking back, it's kind of obvious that you should be teaching blogging.
Yes, it's sometimes it's the most obvious thing that we don't see, because it's so right in front of us that we think, oh, it's nothing special. Like it wasn't my case, because I thought like everybody is blogging, and blogging is so like everybody has a blog. Why should I be teaching blogging? It's so normal. It's so normal to me because I've been doing it for such a long time. I didn't see that it could be really a course idea for myself.
You didn't see that it was a whole business.
Yes.
And how long did it take you to get to this point?
Well, I made after the copywriting course, I made an upsell. It was a blogging course. And then from there on, I started making blogging courses, but still I also made copywriting courses and a newsletter course and a course about developing your tagline and your claim. So it was everything, but I didn't see it as like the one thing. So it took me like, I don't know, two and a half years to make it my thing, like blogging, the one thing that I'm teaching.
Do you think the fact that it comes so easy to you and that you enjoy it so much and that you're so good at it, that why would someone pay me for this?
Yes. I think it's also got to do something with maybe with the imposter syndrome, that it's so, it's nothing special. Yeah, everybody can blog. It's not real business. It's like, and all these things that I was keeping telling myself that kept me from making a business really out of blogging. So this has taken a really long time for me.
Well, 2.5 years is still not that long in the big scheme of things. But I think if there is a first lesson for anyone watching, is to find your one thing that you want to be known for, your zone of genius. And now you've really claimed it.
Yes.
You put a, what do you call it, hole in the ground and said, I am going to be known for blogging.
Yes, I did it now. Finally, I had it took me quite some courage to focus myself on one, like this tiny thing out of everything that I could do as a copywriter. But now that I did it, I feel so comfortable. I feel so in my zone of genius. I feel like, yes, this is like what I don't even have to think about this. I wake up at 9, at 3 in the morning, and I'm like, I could write a blog article. So it comes so easily to me. And so it feels like, okay, now it's not so much hard work anymore, but more like, it's something that I really enjoy doing. And it's such a good feeling.
I can see it. I can feel it. I have noticed that your social media, this is what we see mostly from each other. We're not meeting each other, that's for sure. I've seen a shift. It's like you say, when you say there's a relief, and this is only a month ago, so you haven't had this revelation so long, but that's why we're here today to talk about it. It's only been a month where you really kind of like, yes, this is what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna get dragged back into those little other copywriting pieces. There has been a shift in your content as well. It's like, I have the feeling that I am feeling the lightness of you coming through your content. Do you sense that too? I don't know. Of course, you're on the other side.
Yeah, it feels so much lighter for me to blog because now I have this strong focus. I also know that I don't have to blog anymore about how to write newsletters and this and that. I have this niche for myself, and it feels so much easier to find topics in that niche. And I also have a much higher pace of blogging now. Like I'm writing, I don't know, 2 or 3 or even 4 blog articles per week. And it doesn't feel like work anymore, but it's like, yeah, you know, I get like I get some comments in my course and I think, oh, that would be a great blog article. Let's write about this. And then I just write it. And in 2 hours, it's done, it's finished, and it's published everywhere. And it's like, yeah, this is something that is really so much easier now than before. It's just, I don't know. It's different. Yeah, no.
It is different, and it's only been a month. That's why I think it's a great when we're here. We can catch up again a few months from now and see the big change. But I can sense there is this spur of extra new energy coming through you, and we are feeling it in your content. Now I want to go back to, you know, you have been creating courses and you've been launching, and you know, you had a launch that was, I think, $30,000 or euro. Was it early last year or something like that?
Yeah, it was in May. It was until then, my most successful launch. We had about a 33,000 euro launch back then.
33,000. And what did you sell back then?
Yeah, I was selling my copywriting academy. It was like, again, this was like everything in one product. It was copywriting, website copy, claim development. It was writing your newsletter. And on top of that, we were blogging once, like 1 blog article per week. So it was like a whole bundle of things that I was selling. And yeah, so this was my product back then. Yeah.
Back then, yes. And you thought that this was your signature program. This is what you were going to be selling for future years.
Yeah.
What made you change? Like now you had created what you thought was a signature program. You had a 33,000 euro launch last May. What happened that made you think this is not it?
Yeah, so we were launching this product. We were launching it 3 times. And the first launch was like, yeah, everything was great. It was, I don't know, 25,000 euro. Then the second launch, yeah, 33,000 euro. But then after the second launch, I already sensed that it was too much in one product. And it was so hard for me to tell the transformation of this course because everything was in there. So was it now you have your newsletter, or was it you set up a perfect expert blog, you become the go-to person for your topic, or was it you have your website copy finished? So it was so difficult to tell what was the outcome. And also for the participants, it was so much that they were overwhelmed. And so I learned it's better to not put so much into a course because the people don't finish it. And it's so much better if you like just leave everything in there that is really necessary, like the minimum that it takes, or like I don't know how to tell, but not to over deliver so much in the course because people don't know then what to work on. They don't know which topic to pick. And so this was a huge problem that I saw. Maybe the people, they were not telling me that this exactly, but I had like the feeling that it was too much.
Yeah.
So I needed to simplify the whole thing. I needed to have like one epic outcome out of my course. And so I was looking for this like the whole half year in the second half year of 2020.
Wasn't that frustrating?
Yeah, so sometimes I feel like I have everything in front of me. It's like pieces of a puzzle, but somehow the picture doesn't want to. I don't know. It's like the pieces don't want to add together to a picture. So I knew I had it somehow, but it was such a long journey for me. Yes, of course, if I look back, maybe it was just a few months, but for me, being in the state of what should my course look like and not having this clarity was like, oh my God, it was driving me crazy.
And this was not the first time.
Yeah. Oh my God.
When you created the signature program the year before, you were also in this confusion about what your program should be.
Yes.
So that must be frustrating to go back like, hey, I had this last year, this confusion. Am I again here? What's going on?
Yeah. So I knew that, it was somehow always in December. Like this is like the moment or the month that changes always everything, because somehow like the learnings of the year kept adding up. And then I knew I had to find a solution, and it has to be now, because next year my course is starting and I have to rework it. So it's always somehow in December that I take this big step and change the things. But of course, the things have to add up during the year. And then somehow, I don't know, it's like, it's also work that is not visible to the outside because it's so much in my head going on, and I have to find this clarity for myself. But then once everything is in place, also because of the masterminds and because of all the input from the group, from Zomba, from everybody, the clarity comes. And then I just have to have the courage to change something that I have created, to destroy it, to create something new. And so I've been doing this now for 3 years.
3 years in a row, you've created something and you've destroyed it. It's brave. I must say it's brave. You know, I've been there too. I know it takes a lot. Like, it's like, I don't want to say something bad here, but it's like you're throwing up the baby or whatever, you know. It's hard. It's super hard. It's so easy for us entrepreneurs to create something new. We want to create something new every day, but letting something go, leaving something behind, it might be good, it might be great, people might be having success, but if it's not right for you, and I think what you said before, if the marketing is hard, there is a sign that something is wrong with maybe the program itself. Yeah. So you had the courage to destroy it for basically the second time in a row, and create your third big program.
Yeah, and now, like in the third year, I finally have this feeling that maybe this could be it now. Yeah. So it took me now like 2 times destroying my baby, my great idea, that I finally have now this vision. Okay, this what I have now, this could become something larger, this could become like something of a movement or something really, really great. And I didn't have this feeling like in the first versions of this whole signature program that I created. So now something is totally different. Like also my energy is different, and also the energy in the group is different. So everything has shifted. I cannot quite grasp it or name it, but I feel that this has more potential now.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel like you are relieved in so many ways, and the energy is shining through. Was it hard to destroy what you had created and create something new?
Yes, it was quite hard for me because I became so attached to it, because like it also has become some kind of brand and people were talking about it. And I was like, oh, I created a brand. Can I destroy it? Or is this like a bad marketing decision? But I knew like I created, like I changed the program so much that I also had to change the name. I had to change everything. I couldn't just like, I had to relabel it. Yeah. And so this was quite hard for me because I put so much energy into the other products, but I knew it had to be done. So it took me like maybe a few days of, like maybe like, I don't know, mourning over it.
Yeah, it's like grieving. Yeah, you have to say goodbye to it. Yes. Maybe have some sort of a ritual.
Exactly.
The paper.
Yes, and then I just knew, okay, once I found a name for the new program, it became so much easier. Once I could name this new thing, this new idea that I had, like everything fell into place. And this was like the one magic moment, because I was thinking so long about this, but then when the name was there, like The Content Society, when I had this, everything was like, yes, now I know exactly what to do. Now I have the name for this great something that I created.
And now you say, oh, I think this might be it. Well, I'm pretty certain this is it, because the first time you sell your new program, you have €100,000 launch. Did you envision this at all?
Like maybe, I don't know, maybe in my wildest dreams, I was dreaming of a €50,000 launch. This was like something that was like so way out of my comfort zone, or so it was such a huge goal. And so I didn't think that a €100,000 launch was possible now in the first launch. I thought it could be possible in the year 2021, sometime, maybe in the summer, or like in the third launch, or whenever. But that it came so quickly, it was like, what is happening here?
And I want to mention, you had a very small launch list.
Yes.
So, if you want to make 100,000, typically you need, 1,000 people on your launch list, or 2,000 or 3,000, depending, of course, on the price of your product. But your launch list was only 450 people.
Like the launch list itself was 500 something, 550 or 570. And in the group that I had, in the challenge group, I had like 460 or 70. So this was quite a little group. Like I didn't have the high numbers that that the people normally have with such a big launch.
So explain to us what you did. I know we have spoken about this in our mastermind, obviously, but share, like, you did quite a big challenge.
Yes.
And the common notion is that if you give people a lot of content, a lot of input, a lot of coaching, they walk away and say, goodbye, thank you very much, I'm not going to buy for you. Were you not worried up front that this would happen?
Yes. And in the middle of my launch, which took 20 days, like in the middle of
challenge, not a 5-day challenge, 20 days.
20-day challenge. Like in the middle, I had like this, I was doubting myself, like, was this the right idea? Was this the right strategy? Because so many people were writing, wow, this has helped me so much. Now I can blog on myself. And I was like, oh, okay, this is great, but
maybe too much. You don't need no help. You gotta have my help.
Yeah, so many people were writing me, this has like destroyed all the mental blocks they had, and now they know exactly what to do. Now they know how to continue. And I was like, okay, they're writing me this, but I still have like 550 more people on my launch list, so maybe so I'm doing for them.
Yeah, so you got a little nervous, right? That this was too much, right? Yeah. When did you have the feeling it was working? Like, did it come like a storm right away, or was it a slow start? Finally open card. So you did a 20-day challenge. You taught them how to write their year-end review blog post, this epic blog post that everyone should write. And then did you just open card, or did you do a webinar at the end of the 20-day challenge?
So we were writing our year-end review from the 1st of December until the 20th of December. And I told everybody, even if you have finished your year-end review, let's publish it, or let's share it on social media on December 21st to create like a huge wave. And this December 21st, I told them how they could share their year-end review for the next 10 days in social media, like every time with like something different, like with a different angle, like with a link posting or a picture posting or whatever, so it doesn't get like annoying to the readers. So this was my launch webinar, how to share your year-end review on social media. And then And then, of course, I also introduced the Content Society, my new 1-year program, blog program. And then I was like, yeah, it was like the greatest webinar I've ever held. Like the activity was great. So many people were asking questions. So many people were active. And I also placed my fast action bonus. And the people were like going crazy in the webinar, but nobody bought.
Nobody bought. Boop, 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 boop.
So, and of course, it was shortly before Christmas, and we just had the recent lockdown also in Germany. So I knew, maybe the time, let's give them some time. So in the first 24 hours, still no sale.
Wow. How did you feel? How did you feel, honestly?
Well, I thought maybe I did something wrong. Like this was like, what did I do wrong? Was like the question that I had in my head, because something had to be wrong. If nobody buys, either the offer is wrong or the price is too high or whatever. I don't know. Something has to be wrong. I was I kept telling myself.
Yeah.
So and in the like the first sale came on the evening of the second day.
Wow.
Like shortly before I went to bed.
You were already in bed, or did you see it come in?
Yeah, no, I think maybe I was even in bed, and then my head, like my smartphone was making the sound, like this ka-ching sound from like from the store. And I was like, oh, I made a sale. Oh my God.
Okay, so you thought maybe this is working, maybe something is happening.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, like if the first sale is coming, it's like, okay, the best relief. And I will never forget the first people who buy my courses. I still know the very first people who bought my very first course in 2018, because it's such a relief, and it's such a, like, I was so thankful for this first sale. And I will always have her in my heart, the first client. So yeah,
that's what we do. Yeah.
Huge
so
relief.
The first day was through. What did you do during Open Cart? This was obviously quite stressful. You did an amazing webinar. You were following up with emails. Were you still doing some activity in the group? Like, how did you keep the energy high and get more sales in?
Yeah, so I was asking my current students from the academy that I had before, the one which I destroyed, and I was asking my students who were very eager to blog and who had like the best blogging results. So I was asking them, hey, do you want to come to a short little interview in my Facebook group, just like chit and chat about blogging and about your results and you had blah, blah, blah. And everybody was okay with that. And I had like 1 or 2 interviews a day with my best students. And so this was something that really changed like the whole dynamic, the whole situation, because
it was more into the sales cycle of it.
And so I could talk just simply about the results, and it was also great talking about like the positive things that blogging brought to them, and it was just so much fun to make these interviews. And so people were watching these interviews. I've seen the numbers, like the video views, and I saw people are watching them, and so the confidence grew that maybe this whole situation will change. Maybe the sales will be coming like towards the end, because of course launching over Christmas is like, well, it is
kind of top or flop.
It is difficult because people have like everything in mind except maybe a course they want to buy, and I understand this, but it was no other date was possible if you write your year in review. So
no, it was fitting to the concept of the challenge. So when did you close cart, and how long was your cart open, and when did you close cart? Like, was there a deadline?
Yes, so I think the first, like I closed cart twice.
We're going to talk about that because that was an interesting launch strategy.
Yes, so the first we closed cart the first time on December 29. So it was open from December 21st to 29. So it was 8 days, which were quite intense because I was writing every day like emails. On the last day, 5 emails, of course. And on the last day, I had, I don't know how many sales. So if anybody had told me this, the first day is like 1 sale, 0, 1, 0, 2. Like, what is happening here?
With 10 people maybe. And what happened on the last day? Why did you think they suddenly rushed?
I still don't exactly know why, but maybe it was also the dynamic that kept growing, and it was like, it became like an avalanche that at the beginning was just like one little snowball, and it was not a big thing, but then it became such a big thing somehow. And I think, of course, it was also because of the emails that I wrote, and I wrote them like just in time. I didn't prepare them, or I didn't prepare them all, because I had this feeling that it's a good thing to pick like topics that came up in the group, or like to quote people and to ask them and to put this all in the emails. And this has worked very well. So people were asking that. So suddenly, like in the, like, I don't know, from December 25 or 26, they suddenly posed questions that I was then answering. And I had also
questions is always good. If you get questions in the launch, that means people are interested.
Yeah, and then I had these 15-minute talks, like, is the course the right fit for you? And then in the last 2 days, like in the beginning, almost nobody booked these calls. But in the last 2 days, I had, I don't know, 30 calls or 40. I don't know. It was like a huge number, like from morning to evening. I was just making these calls.
When did you offer having a call with you? Was that something that you offered later in your open cart?
I think it was from the beginning.
From the beginning, you offered people that they could book a call with you, discovery call, but they weren't booking until last minute. It's last minute.
Everybody was like waiting until the last day.
Okay, so you have like 30 calls booked last minute, and how many sales did you have in that first launch window or open cart window?
Yeah, so I launched this like in 3 rows. Like in 3 waves. Like the first wave was to my existing clients from the former academy. So this was the first wave. And then the second wave was in this first launch until the 29th. And I think then 25 people or 27 people bought there in this first wave of launching to the challenge group.
Yeah. And I think you were at, correct me if I'm wrong, I think at the 29th of December, your launch revenue was somewhere on the 50, 60K, right?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know where it exactly was. No, it was like 70 or something, or 70
already. Okay, 70. Yeah, good. I think because we had a little chat and I was like, 70? You can get 100.
I was like, oh.
Did you plan a second open cart already up front, or did you get the idea later?
Well, I didn't plan it. It was the people who put this idea into my head, because like launching over the turn of the year is like for some people difficult, because some people have to buy in December. Some people can just buy in January because of various reasons, because maybe they are only like self-employed from January and they can only buy things for their enterprise or for their business in January. So were writing me emails. So yeah, Judith, I cannot buy this now. Is there a possibility to buy it on January 1st? And I was like, okay. So I got this email, I don't know, from 10 persons. And I was like, yes.
Yes. Well, you're listening to your potential clients. You're seeing an opportunity. And then as you're hearing this, you decide, I'm going to do a quick reopen cart. I think I like this. You know, it's not something that a lot of people do, but how long did you open it again, and when did you do that?
Yeah, I opened it again from January 1st to that January 3rd, because the course was starting on January 4th. This was the first Monday in the year. So I had like this tiny window of 3 days that I was opening cart again.
So how did you explain this to your launch list that you were opening again? Because typically when you say, hey, today is the last day to buy, and then a few days later you come along and say, I've decided to open the cart again. How does that sound?
Yeah, I just described it just like I told you. So many people were asking me whether this was possible. So I decided to reopen cart. So you have now the possibility, if you were still thinking about it, and maybe it was not the time in December, maybe it is now. And also I felt like a different energy, because like in December, it was like the year was ending, and then the new year was starting. People had their New Year's resolutions. And now somehow they were also in a different energy. And so I knew, okay, I also felt something was different. And I had, again, a lot of discovery calls, or like a lot of calls for people who were asking, is this the right fit for me? And so I had like a totally like a complete launch in 3 days.
Yes, which is possible because you had warmed them up and had that other open card period. But I think you still were not at the 100,000 even after the second opening. What did you start to do? Some, behind the scenes strategies, like, checking the people who had opened their emails and things like that? Like, how did you get across the 100,000?
Yeah, so it was also reaching out to people that I thought were potentially like a good fit for the course, and this was like the main thing that I did. Like I had already a lot of clients, and I also was talking to people who were in my academy before, but decided not to jump into the Content Society, and I was talking to them again, because I somehow felt that it would still be like a good decision for them. And so some people were like I don't know, like 4 or 5 people, like from the last group, then decided to like jump into the Content Society, and this was then the final I don't know, that I made that I crossed.
Yeah, from 90,000 to 100,000. That was like 1 more, 2 more.
Just do it.
And how did you feel when you realized you had crossed the 6 figures?
It was just like, yeah, it's still like somehow like a strange feeling, because until then my most successful launch was 33K euro, and it was like now I tripled this, and I had not like planned this success, because I envisioned myself making a 50K launch, like 50,000. And now this has like gone beyond all expectations. And I also had like a brief moment of imposter again, when I was like at 90,000, I was like, maybe I rather stop here, because if I cross the line to 100K, then the next launch is like, the expectations are going to be so high, I cannot meet them, and all this blah blah in my head. And so of course, it was just some kind of, I don't know, some kind of bullshit that I was telling myself, and I had to get out of this. And it just took like, luckily, just 1 day, and then I got out of this, and then I just kept pushing forward.
Wow. Congratulations, Judith, and thank you for sharing it all.
Thank you.
It was hard work. You did a 20-day launch, 8-day open card. You had a 2-day break until you opened the card again. And then there were even some, what we call them, stragglers. The stragglers, the people who come after closed card and say, can I join? Can I join? So all in all, over 6 figures. The price of the course was
2,000 euro.
2,000 euro. And it's 12 months, right? Correct. Yeah. So the lizard brain plays tricks on us. Yeah, this is a fluke. You can never do it again, and all that BS. So I truly believe, as a launch strategist, you had such a small list upfront. I would not even have imagined myself that it's possible to have a 6-figure launch, but you created an amazing energy in your challenge. I was actually in your group, and this proved that even though you deliver so much, the right people will not feel over-delivered. They know there is more. They know there is more to learn. Smart people know that. It's not the freebie hunters that go from challenge to challenge and think, oh, I'll grab something there and grab something there. These were people who actually were interested in blogging, and they knew they were learning from the best. So, Judith, it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
What an adventure.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think this is empowering for a lot of people, like those who are creating their first course. What should it be? Like, go into a show of genius and find that one problem. And you talked about like having a clear outcome, something you can communicate easily. And when you step into your zone of genius, when you do something that comes easy to you, you can actually have massive launches and it doesn't feel like work. I noticed you said that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing and being with us today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.